Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Afternoon Rotor Talk Live, episode 6. We've got a lot to talk about today. It's been quite a busy week with everything going on, so we'll get to that in a minute. I hope everybody's had a good Sunday today so far. It is unbelievably hot and unbelievably humid here in Florida, like same old here. And I asked Val this morning, I said, you've been in Florida all your life. How can you stand this kind of stuff? And she said she just doesn't go out in the heat. I guess if you go out, you get conditioned and get used to it. But for me, I'm staying inside. That's what I'm claiming here. So let me get the chat set up. Hope everybody's had a good day today. It's just like I said, it's just absolutely crazy. This weather, wow. There's just no other word for it, none whatsoever. So let me get the chat going here. Pop out the chat. Steve Carpenter, welcome. Kim, welcome. Chris, welcome. David Ma, welcome. Drone Shots, Casey Kasem, Chris Hope, welcome. Black Ops, Jim. Absolutely, this is great. We got a good crew on board here today. All right. Hope everybody's had, and of course, the beautiful cat 77723 is here. Roy, can you fly the DJI Mavic Pro if LTE 4G is not available? Yeah, Roy, it's not dependent upon that. So yeah, you should be good as far as that. Jeff, welcome from the UK. Glad you're here today. Okay. Well, you probably, we know all the events that happened this week, and it's just been a crazy week with stuff. I mean, it's just, we're all thinking, Greg, welcome. Thank you for joining this afternoon. We were all thinking, yeah, it's probably, we're just, our guesses we're just swinging at it and trying to guess what in the world's going on. And then Autel comes out with his tweet, and then Michael, welcome. Thanks for joining today. Autel comes out with his tweet and says, yeah, it's a problem with the gimbal. And no sooner than that, I had Tuesday night Rotor Talk Live where I gave 4 bullet points where I thought it was not a hardware issue. And then lo and behold, that very next morning, we find out from Autel, he said he got a call from DJI, said it was a production issue, supply issue, and pretty much, hey, Kestelou got an email from DJI confirming the same thing. So this is where we're at. And I had a lot of fun doing the video yesterday, just going through your comments. And like I said, from the video I did about about it being a supply issue, unbelievable amount of comments. And by the way, Yeoman's, thank you to Steve Carpenter. Every time he comes in, he's doing a great job with the moderating. So give Steve a hand for that. Really thank him for that. He's fantastic. I've talked to him by phone this week. He is just absolutely, I could talk to him for hours. We have so much in common. But anyway, Alejandro, welcome, or Alessandro, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining today. And I asked you to have comments after that video I did earlier this week. Well, I got well over 100. I think it's over 120 right now regarding, what you think is going on with DJI. And that's why I did my video yesterday and I called it conspiracy theories. And I used, I actually got a question. Why did I use a picture and talk about JFK's assassination? Well, the term conspiracy theory really gained popularity after the assassination. And like I said, there've been hundreds of books and videos and documentaries and just all kinds of things about what happened with the assassination. And I won't even go there. And yes, I probably have watched way too much of that stuff, and I have my own opinions on that. But it's kind of the same here. Everybody has their own opinion on what's going on regarding this. And I just want to kind of level set some things here. My opinion is based upon my experience, not only, number one, as a software tester, and being in IT for 30 years. I've learned a lot of things about testing, and not only just testing software, but testing hardware as well, because the hardware's not functioning properly, you know, you're not going to even begin to be able to test the software properly. So drone X files. Yeah, Kim, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that's exactly, I couldn't have said it any better. I probably could have used that for a title as well too, because, you know, who really knows exactly what's going on? I mean, you know, a lot of people think DJI is not being forthcoming. A lot of people are, you know, a lot of people are thinking, oh, Autel is getting paid by DJI and that these leaks are on purpose. Alessandro, you're from Malta. Welcome. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Everybody say hi to Alessandro. He's checking in from Malta today, and thank you. That's fantastic. Excuse me, that's fantastic. On top of everything else, I'm dealing with allergies today too, so bear with me here. It shouldn't be too bad. But you know, everybody's having these theories about Autel, and he's getting paid by DJI to leak this information. And the one thing, Casey Kasem, thanks for joining today. You know, the one thing that I found, I don't know if any of you found it just as odd, is that tweet from Autel that said it was a gimbal issue got deleted, and it was deleted in rather short order. I did take a screenshot of it so it wouldn't go away. Kim, major software compatibility issues with the new drone release and older models, perhaps? It could be. It really could be. You know, at this point, it's only, you know, we're only, you know, we really don't know. You know, to be honest, you know, my guess was, with the production supply issue, that it had something to do with the sensors. And as you all know, you know, the sensors are produced by Sony. And as I stated, Rick, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. I hope you're feeling well. Thank you for showing up this afternoon. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're right, Steve. Once you post it, it's out there forever. You know, as far as Richard, welcome to the show this afternoon. Thank you for joining today. You know, as far as, you know, talking about Autel being on their payroll and all this, and that they're trying to pump some information out there, you know, I can't really say. Yeah, I can't really say about that, because we don't know. And, you know, in the long run here, you know, does it really, you know, we'll end up finding out exactly I mean, we may never truly find out 100% what's going on at this point. But my bottom line is this, you know, I still kind of think it may have been a sensor supply issue. Everybody give Rick Halber a nice welcome. I know he's recovering from surgery. It's great that Rick's here. Just he's a great viewer, great subscriber. Just give him a shout out today, and wish him some get well wishes. I'm sure he could. Sure, he would definitely appreciate that. Rick's a great supporter of the channel here. So, oh, Black Ops drones. Wow, disappointed with the Evo so far. Yeah, Casey, it is. DJI really is kind of the gorilla, and you know, it's like the old E.F. Hutton talks, people listen kind of a thing. When DJI talks, people listen. That's real interesting, Black Ops. You know, I know it's not. You know, I know they're having issues getting the iOS app out there, and you know, what is out there is a beta app, and it's not fully integrated. You know, I did hear some good reports on the camera for the Evo. We're going to talk about the Evo here in just a minute. You know, I don't want to spend too much more time on the Mavic Pro 2, because there's not really a lot to hash on this. But one of the big things here is, you know, I still think it probably could have been a supply issue with the sensors. And a lot of people need to take into account one of the things, you know, Samsung's coming out with their Note 9 next month, and Apple's going to come out with a new iPhone in September, and they're the #1 and 2, you know, customers of Sony with these sensors. So, you know, and then a lot of people said, well, Parrot is too, and they got theirs. Well, Parrot didn't have to deal with new phones coming out like DJI is. So, you know, but, you know, and a lot of people are saying, well, they wouldn't make a decision this late. I think, and this is just bottom line is this, I think DJI wanted to avoid what happened back in 2016. And I know some of you who were on the broadcast this afternoon had to wait 2, if not 3 months before you got your DJI Mavic Pro. I was very fortunate. I got mine in January of 2017 from Florida Drone Supply. Ordered it on a Friday evening. It was on my doorstep at 10 o'clock the next morning, no lie. And that's why I'm a big fan of Florida Drone Supply. So if you live in the state of Florida, you need to check them out. I know you've heard it from me before, and you'll keep hearing it from me again. Janelle and her husband run a great company. They have training, professional training there as well. So that's a sidebar. If you want any more information on that, and I know I've actually got a couple of people ask me for more information on their training and the training that they have. So if you have any questions on them, definitely shoot me an email. I'm always available to answer. And just kind of like a sidebar here, a real quick sidebar, the best way to get a hold of me is through my email, BillTheDroneReviewer@gmail.com. You know, I get some messages on Facebook, and they're great, and thank you for those messages. Don't stop. But the other thing is, I don't always check those messages every day. And I saw I had a couple that were sitting in there from a few days back, and I apologize for that. I'm going to get better at it. But I do check my email multiple times during the day. So anything, you need something from me, you have a question, you have a comment, you want to send me a picture, whatever, BillTheDroneReviewer@gmail.com. Okay, that's a little public service announcement there. So Roy, I drove 2 hours to Best Buy that had one Mavic in stock reserved for me. Hope this won't happen with the new release. Yeah, Roy. And see, that's the thing. I think that's the bottom line. What DJI is trying to avoid is to have this stock issue. And I also believe too that they're having 2 versions come out. They're going to have a Mavic 2 and a Mavic Pro 2 come out. And I think I think that all ties in. Steve Carpenter. What a lot of numbers for Monday. Yeah. Let me look in my magic crystal ball here, Steve. I'll pull them up for everybody and we'll share. Yeah, that's what we're going to need here. But what I think is going to happen, or why I think this is happening, and nobody's really talked about this, and I want to bring this up, is, you know, they're going to be coming out, I strongly believe, with 2 models. They're going to be coming out with a Mavic 2 and a Mavic Pro 2. Obviously, you know, the Mavic Pro 2 is going to have the upgraded features on it, more than likely the 1-inch sensor, all-around obstacle avoidance, etc. And the Mavic 2 being more of a base version, but better than the current Mavic Pro. So with that being said, you know, the issue may have been this. They may have had plenty of the Mavic 2s out there, but not enough of the Mavic Pros. You know, they don't want to repeat this mistake from 2016. Yeah, Mavic Pro 2, Casey, that's probably correct. You know, they need to make sure that they don't underestimate the demand for this like they did in 2016. And that was a huge thing on their part. They really, you know, that was a big mess up, and they don't want to avoid that. So I think it was probably good them pulling the plug. Yeah, I'm still thinking they're coming out with another drone other than the Mavic Pro 1. Yeah, yeah, Steve, I think that they, you know, I've heard talk that they're coming out with more than 2 drones. I don't know about that, but I would definitely say for sure we're definitely looking at 2 drones here. That's what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking you're going to see 2 drones definitely come out whenever they do hold the event. And I've had a lot of questions this week also too, asking when do I think the event's going to be rescheduled? I would think right now that we're pushing late July. I think that event is not going to happen until September at the earliest. I think we're probably looking, and what's ironic here is if you go back in DJI's history, when they released the DJI Mavic Pro in the first place, it was September 2016. I don't know the exact date. I have that written down somewhere, but it's kind of wrong. Yeah, that's what I figured, Steve, Mavic Pro 2. Yeah, Phantom 5, Chris Hope, I'm seeing that coming out late 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter, and you know, in time for the holiday season for Christmas. That would be a no-brainer for them to do that. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Casey, you're right. Summer will be over, and you know, for here, those of us here in the States, and fall's approaching, and you know, if you live in a southern state like I do, you know, you can pretty much fly year round, except when it's crazy windy like it is today. I had thoughts about taking it out for a flight and maybe doing a quick live stream from the Mavic Pro, but it's just the wind, it's like 35, 40 miles an hour today. I can't even think about it. Yeah. And it's like you said, Bill, when the Mavic Pro 2 comes out, it'll be ready to go. Yeah, it will. It's going to be ready to go. They're not going to, you know, and that I think is what the key is here. I think they're trying to juggle getting 2 drones out at once, and they don't always have to do that. Now, I know when the Inspire 2 came out, the Phantom 4 Pro came out, and they had a dual release, and that was out on the West Coast. That was out in LA. And, you know, it's a tricky situation. And I don't know about all the details about that. I haven't really looked at that in depth. But I bet that, you know, they had to do a lot of dotting the I's and crossing the T's and then going back and checking it again, because to try to get 2 separate platforms, and even if you want to consider the Mavic 2 and the Mavic Pro 2 separate platforms, yeah. Going to Italy in September 16th for 2 weeks. So the Mavic Pro 2 is available by September 8th. Go to Best Buy and either get a Mavic Air or Mavic Platinum. Yeah, Felipe. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm thinking we're probably looking, and I hate to tell you this, my thoughts are it's going to be probably middle of September at this point. You know, they want to give people plenty of time before to make arrangements. And I could say this, it would be about as good as predicting who's going to win. Black Ops Drones, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I would say it's about as good as going to the racetrack and, you know, picking out 3 or 4 horses the day before and putting your money down on them, because it's going to be it's pretty rock solid that they're going to hold the event. There's going to be no more postponements, delays, anything along those lines. It'll go forward. I can just about guarantee you that. Whenever they do hold the event. And like I said, I'm thinking, you know, that event's probably, we're probably looking at September at this point. And like Casey said, you know, summer's going to be over. And, you know, one of the other things that I wanted to say, and I didn't get a chance to mention this in the videos this week, that, you know, people talked about this being a marketing ploy or a gimmick to try to stir up interest or this. Okay, I will say this. I do believe that this was an issue, whatever it was. And the other thing that I'll say about that is every day that Autel is out there selling drones in this space, and every day a new drone, and every day the Parrot is selling a new drone in this space is a day that DJI is not. And they obviously have produced product. That product sitting in a storage container, either on a ship or in a warehouse here in the United States, that's not making them any money. So the sooner they get this resolved, the sooner they can be able to start making money, and it will make them a lot of money. And you can take this to the bank. I've heard a lot of good things about the Evo and some great video from it, and I've seen it. And you know, one of the things I will say is the Evo, they came out with another firmware update. That's one of the things I wanted to bring up today. And that Horizon Till issue has been corrected. They did something regarding the battery as well, battery notification. And kudos to Autel. And I have to say this, Autel is really stepping up to the plate with these software updates. So I have to give a pat on the back to Autel for doing this, because those of you who had X-Star premiums know the pain point that was, like me, in getting those firmware updates that didn't take days or weeks, they took months. And here they're reacting in a matter of days or weeks here. And kudos to Autel for that. You know, the other thing is they still don't have the iOS app ready to go. And I'm sure they're working on it, and I'm sure they'll get it out there. And the Autel Evo is a great drone. And I've heard mixed bag of reviews regarding the ANAFI. Todd Fox, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining this afternoon. I've heard a mixed bag about the ANAFI, but I've heard that it does have good video quality. It's easy to recharge. You know, I've heard it's a pain to get the SD card in and out, and they put that in a bad spot. But Lon, I heard that they did fix the tilt issue. Somebody this morning I saw, one of my subscribers sent me an email and said that that issue has been fixed. He's done the update on it and it's worked. So that's not. I'm hearing some good reports about that. And I'm hearing, like I said, a mixed bag on the ANAFI. Rick Smith from Drone Valley, he had a great review out on that. Some other ones have had some not so good reviews. There were a couple other ones. I think Everyday Dad had a review on it, and I think there was another gentleman, and I forget his name, had one. And it's been a mixed bag, but I would say for the most part, you know, it's a decent drone. I think it's overpriced. I think they probably priced that too high, and I think they priced the Evo too high. But with all that being said, when DJI comes out with their Mavic 2 and Mavic Pro 2, you're gonna be able to hear a pin drop, and everybody is going to see something, something absolutely positively fantastic. Ian, welcome. Glad you joined us this afternoon. Okay, B Hendo, posting new videos from the DJI Air flying over Big Cedar Lodge in Branson. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and allow that, B Hendo. That's fine. So you definitely want to check that out. A friend of mine is producing lovely footage with Evo. Yeah, the camera's been good, Kim. I've heard and I've seen a lot of good footage from the Evo. I mean, some Original Dobo had some good footage that he put out when he was up in Philadelphia, and some other ones I know have had good footage on it, and I really like what you're seeing. And what I like is it out of the box footage, meaning you're not touching the settings, no filters on it, just as is stock coming out of the box. And a lot of people don't. I mean, for hobbyists like us, yeah, we'll look at filters, and yeah, we'll look at ISO settings and speed and so forth. Droning on water. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat. A lot of us will do that. Quite a few people will just take it and shoot, and won't even do any post. And I'm seeing some great results with that. So, but like I said, I think this is going to happen. When you see the Mavic 2 and Mavic Pro 2 come out, you're going to hear a pin drop in the room. The room is going to be silent, okay? And you'll hear that pin drop. And when they come out, everybody in the drone world is going to take notice, because that's exactly, somebody earlier posted is that exactly. They're the giant in the room. When DJI steps in that room, it's done. And I believe it's going to whatever they have on this. Mike, yeah, the camera on the ANAFI is great, but I'm not real happy with the range. Yeah, that's one of the things I heard, Mike. Thank you for checking in with that. Yeah, and Ken Ingram, you're right. Competition is good. We want, and I've stated, and I know you've heard me say this before, but we need both Autel to succeed and we need Parrot to succeed in this space, because that drives DJI to do better, and that's a win for the companies, because people are buying their product, and it's also a win for us because it keeps pricing competitive, and it's also a win for us because it forces DJI especially to up the ante and to come out with something even better. So, it's a win all the way around as far as that's concerned. I mean, it really is. I wanted to share with you a couple of comments from, you'll hear a pin drop, we'll hear the price. Yeah, Ken, you're right. As far as the price is concerned, you're going to hear an audible, one of those, it's like gasping for air kind of thing. And I guess one thing you can say about a Autel, it's like, yeah, he at best he's not a reliable source of information. But I think one thing he's very right about: you need to get your nickels and dimes together. He talks about saving money and getting cash together for it. Well, yeah, it's gonna up the ante, and I'm expecting a price. And I know I did a video on this a few weeks back on the pricing of the Mavic 2 and Mavic Pro 2, and I think we're going to be approaching. You're going to be looking probably $11.99 to maybe $13.99, somewhere in that range, and that's not even including a Fly More combo. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe even as low as $1,099 for the Mavic 2, and maybe $1,299 for the Mavic Pro 2. That's kind of thinking the ballpark, and those are just that's a drone and remote controller and battery. That's not including a Flymore combo. I'm thinking that's where it's going to end up. It might top out. I'm thinking it might top out at about $15.99 as far as all that. Thomas, welcome this afternoon. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Nabi Sol Cha-ching. You got that right, Lon. It's going to be they're going to be hearing that sound over at headquarters in China for DJI like nobody's business. Yeah, the pricing, Jim, you're right. It does. Because that's a complete unknown. I'm just swinging at it with a guess. Mike Brooks, you're right. I think they're going to surprise us. I think there's going to be some things that even some of the best of us haven't been able to anticipate. You know, I know we're all talking about, you know, just some things that are given, like new ESCs, quieter props, you know, increased battery life, you know, probably all around obstacle avoidance, some of those things, a 1-inch sensor. But I think you're right. I think they got a few tricks up their sleeves. And, you know, and one of the things that people haven't talked about, you know, I'd like to see some of these. Now, I loved it. My time with the Mavic Air, I absolutely, positively love my time with that. That is a cool drone. It is a fun drone. My wife loved it. She was impressed with how fast it went when I had it in sport mode. You know, and also the thing, the Boomerang and the Asteroid, I'm hoping that DJI is going to start incorporate that into like the new Mavic 2 and Mavic Pro 2, and maybe come out with something retro for the Mavic Pro, because those are some fantastic shots to be able to do that. I mean, I did an Asteroid of the house, and it was just incredible. And just one of the things I really liked about that, and for those of you that have the Mavic Air, you can know about this and maybe have done it. Ian, I don't know if you did this before you got rid of your Mavic Air, but watching the Mavic Air as it's taking the pictures, okay, that was incredible. I didn't think to get a camera to do that, but I was watching it as it positioned itself, took the picture, seen the gimbal move up and down. That is absolutely fantastic. Felipe, you know, I would go, and this is just my 2 cents worth, I would go for the Mavic Platinum. You know, you're going to get a little bit of a better runtime. You're going to have the new ESCs on it, so it'll be a little bit quieter. And you'll also with that too, you'll have OcuSync instead of instead of the Wi-Fi with the Mavic Air, and I think you'll get better range with that. So that would be my recommendation, just off the cuff. And Felipe, if you have any more questions, definitely email me at BillTheDroneReviewer@gmail.com. I'll answer them all for you. That's not a problem. So yeah, Mavic. Yeah, you're right, Ken. Absolutely, because OcuSync. You know, and I'm looking forward. And you know, and I said this before. The reason that DJI came out with a Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 was for one reason. They wanted to have a platform to be able to put the new OcuSync on, the 2.0. And from everything I've heard, I know I talked to Rick Smith a little bit about this. He was very impressed with the new OcuSync, the OcuSync 2.0 on the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. Very impressed with that. And I think that was the whole reason they came out with that. I mean, and also too, for 2 reasons. The other reason is, you know, it's kind of like an intermediate. It's kind of like going to bridge the gap until the Phantom 5 comes out this fall. And I'm like I saying, I'm really kind of sticking with that's coming out this fall. So yeah, I've never had an issue with my air and signal. I use the tacos. Okay, that's good, Todd. Yeah, that's, you know, as far as that's concerned. But one of the comments that I got from the video I think the DJI Mavic Pro 2 you know, production delay or production issues. I got one of these comments. Somebody called me a DJI apologist, and all I have to say is this, okay? Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and call me a DJI apologist. Also call me an Autel apologist. Also call me a Parrot apologist. Also call me a unique apologist. And definitely call me a drone apologist, because you know what? And I think you'll all agree. Denny D, thank you for joining the show this afternoon. Appreciate your showing up. We're all drone apologists here, okay? Yeah, watching the Mavic Air photo automation with photo modes is amazing. The Mavic 2 will add a few more photo modes along with surprises. Yeah, I fully believe that, Ian. Absolutely, fully believe that. Yeah, Sandy, you know, I know that they haven't set a new date yet, and I'm thinking within the next week or so, I think we're going to find out. I really do. I don't think they're gonna hang on too much longer on that. I think they probably got whatever they need to rectified, and it'll be full speed ahead. So, and like I said, and I mentioned this in a video it's coming out, but I'll tell you guys, you know, both Val and I are gonna be at the event. And Ron, okay, I'll answer your question first here, Ron. They come out with a really great Mavic Pro 2. What do you think it'll do to the Phantom line? Well, what I think, Ron, is, you know, the Phantom line is going to more than likely have that interchangeable lens system. And I think, while that's a good question, I think the real question is, what's that going to do to the Inspire line? Because you probably watched, Billy Kyle got an Inspire 2, and the Inspire 2 is a beast. And everything that I've heard from, and I've talked to some professional photographers, and I mean, you know, professional photographers with their Part 107s that do this day in and day out, they, you know, flying the Inspire is a whole different ballgame. Now, I flew an Inspire 1, and thank you, Mel. I don't know if Mel's on today, but thank you, Mel, for that opportunity. And that's an incredible drone. If I could afford even getting an Inspire 1, you know, they're around, you know, $1,500–$1,600 to get one now, even new. I would probably think about doing that if I had the money to be able to do it. Inspire 2 is a different ballgame. It's like pretty much with those type of drones, and it's probably more so the Inspire 2, that's a two-man operation. And that's why a lot of times, you know, that you need to get that Sendence remote control, the Crystal Sky monitor with that. And you have one person flying the drone, the other person operating the camera. I mean, that's from talking to professional photographers, without a doubt. You know, I can tell you that. Marius, you know, you could be right as far as that's concerned. The reason they postponed the event was the new features of the ANAFI. I believe that, and they were probably going back to seeing if there's anything they can do, maybe software-wise, because at that point, hardware-wise, you know, they're kind of locked in, and to retool stuff would take them months, and I don't think they want to do that. Yeah, it is, Steve. You know, flying the Inspire 1 was great, and one of the things that I learned, and Mel taught me, and thank you, Mel, if you're watching, is to pinch the joysticks. And, you know, we're also used to using our thumbs and going up like this with our joysticks. You know, he said, you know, when you move the joysticks, it's more precise movements because it reacts so quickly. The Inspire 1 V2, it just absolutely reacts so quickly, and it stops on a dime. I mean, I was just impressed. Mel brought it in full speed, boom, and it came to a stop, and it just blew both Valerie and I away. Yeah, it really is. Donald, welcome. Thank you for joining this afternoon. So, you know, there's my spiel on the Inspire series. But as far as the Phantom 5 is concerned, yeah, I think you know, the Phantom 5 is going to be looking at being like I would call a mini Inspire 2 or mini Inspire platform, because the ability to interchange the lenses and so forth, and hold on to your hats for pricing on that one, is I'm thinking that may tip the scales going upwards, you know, $1,700–$1,800. So that's just a wild guess right there. Ken Heron also recommends pinching the joysticks. You're right, Ken. And I can tell you from doing that, oh my gosh, you know, your movements are more precise. And I'm going to start doing the same with the Mavic Pro, is pinching the joysticks with that. You know, I'm so used to just flipping the thumbs. It really does make a difference. Thank you for bringing that up. Steve, or Felipe, my email is BillTheDroneReviewer@gmail.com. I'm going to go ahead. I'll type that in the chat so you can have that here. Yeah, I can't type and talk at the same time. So there you go. There it is, Felipe. So you can have that. And yeah, anybody, if you ever have any questions, comments, you want to send me a picture, something, definitely don't ever hesitate to email me. Like I said, I check that email account multiple times a day. So we'll definitely get some get some things going here. I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to make sure, we're going to wrap up here in the next 15 minutes or so. One of the things I wanted to tell you about was I finally have got the video together of your user submitted videos, and I'm going to be putting a video out about that in the next couple of days. It's in production right now. We're going to get that out there so you guys will be able to see it. I combed through all the entries you sent me in Dropbox. I've watched them already, and guys, everybody's going to be impressed. I can tell you that. Again, you guys hit home runs. You knocked it out of the park. Fantastic footage. Thank you so much for that. One of the things, if I've missed something, and I look through my emails as well too, and I got a couple out of there. If I missed one of your videos, I want you to email me and let me know, and use my Dropbox to send me the video. I will do a video of just yours alone and put it out there. That's one of the things. So I just want to let you guys know that if that happens, that I will get that video out there for you guys. So don't so don't worry. You guys are being in for an absolute treat. I also have a video coming up. I'm calling it State of the Channel. It's not State of the Union, but State of the Channel. And it's in honor, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out with a State of the Channel video so much. Oh, you're welcome, Felipe. Absolutely. Please do. I'm going to be doing a State of the Channel videos once every 3 months, once a quarter. And, it's going to be more based on, where we're at, where I'm at subscriber-wise, the types of videos that I've produced, and what we're looking forward to coming up for like the next quarter. So I have that's one of the videos that I have coming out this week, and also have some product reviews. I got another case that I'm going to be reviewing for the Mavic Pro, and I also have another tablet holder for the Mavic Pro I'm going to be reviewing. So look forward to those. We have those come out. When were you doing the viewer? Todd, I received probably about maybe 5, maybe 6, I believe, videos. But I have a Dropbox account, and if what I'm going to do is I have the link. I'll post that in the description for this listing, so you guys can have that. And that link's available anytime. That was not just for I had set up a link temporarily just for this, but I decided I created a permanent link. So if you guys want to send me a video anytime, please do so. And if you want me to go ahead and put together a video for you guys, I'll be happy to do that. I know, Ron, I'm going to work on your video as well. There's just been so much going on lately. I have not had an opportunity, but I am going to get a video together for you. I just remember that, and I do apologize, Ron Lockwood. I will get that together for you guys. But those are some things that are coming up. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. And also, one of the things, I can't thank you guys enough for, we just hit 3,100 subscribers. We're over the 3,000 mark. Oh, you're welcome, Rod. Rodney, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining today. We hit the 3,000 subscriber mark, and then just yesterday or today hit 3,100. The word's getting out about the channel, which is fantastic. And one of the things that I always promise you on this channel is not going to be driven in terms of trying to get subscribers. It's going to be driven in terms of content, because I believe putting out quality content, people will talk about the channel and want to join and want to subscribe. And I believe that applies to all of you. I think that's the reason that you're here. You're here because you like the content. And Ted 10, welcome. Thanks for joining today. And that's one thing that I want to say right now that I promise you is you won't be seeing me focused on, I know there's some out there that are focused on getting to a specific number, which is okay for them. But I believe, I want to focus on content, and I believe by getting out good content for you guys, I think that is the growth will happen from that, and it has. My growth has been absolutely steady. I got over 100 subscribers this week, which is fantastic. The numbers have been absolutely going up, and thank you guys for that. I want to make a big point to mention that. The best way, your super chats are incredible, and they're over the top, and I can't thank Valerie, and I can't thank you enough for that. But one thing that I will say is this, is, your likes, your comments, you're being subscribed to the channel, and also telling others about the channel is just, it's been unbelievable, and it's been off the charts. He got more this week than I have on my whole channel, Todd. Todd, it happens, and I can tell you that. When did I start? Ken, that's a good question. May of 2017. So we just had the 1-year anniversary. I really got going in June, but it officially started in May 2017. And I've had some great supporters from day one. And the other thing is, you probably all saw that Ready Set Drone, Kelly Shores, hit. Yeah, Ian. Yeah, I believe so. I think that's a very real possibility. I really do. Kelly Shores hit 100,000 subscribers, and I have to tell you this, Kelly, from day one, very first day I was out there, my intro video, if you watch it, I believe he was one of the first people that ever commented on the channel, said to welcome to basically the drone community, and he's gonna learn from my channel. I was unbelievably humble hearing that. He'll include a BillTheDroneReviewer link in every Mavic 2 box. Yes, Ian, that would be wonderful. I wonder if I could pay DJI to do that. I would definitely do that. That's for sure. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Yeah, for only 1 year. Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that. It's been a lot of work. There's a lot that go on behind the scenes here, to make this happen. Producing these videos, to produce like a 5 or 6 minute video that you see, by the time I get it in, edit it in Adobe Premiere, and get it uploaded to YouTube, that process takes anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And I'm putting titles in and getting other screenshots in the videos, and making sure it's good audio quality and so forth. So yeah, it takes a while to do that, and that's multiply that effort out times how many videos that I do in a week. So you can see, plus I do the live shows now. The prep for the live shows is definitely easier. And one of the things that I can do, I'm kind of giving you guys a behind the scenes kind of thing here right now. I do go ahead and I do prepare a sheet up for all my live shows to have an agenda of what we're talking about. I think that's absolutely critical. And especially when I have a guest on, like when we had Rick on from Drone Valley. I prepped. I sent them the questions. I sent my guests their questions, so they know them ahead of time. And I also asked them, if there's anything they don't want to talk about, maybe they're under confidentiality agreement, let me know, and I'll definitely, we won't even bring the question up. Yeah, Rick, thank you. It really has been a great year. And one of the things you'll find out in the state of the channel video, I've done an incredible variety of videos, and I've done some that really haven't gained a lot of popularity or didn't get a lot of views. I didn't do those videos to get views. I did it because I saw that there was a void in a subject. For example, I did one on drone parachute recovery systems. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of views, but I think that's something that's going to definitely be up and coming, and I think people can pay attention to it. I know there's one for the Inspire 2, and it's not cheap. Those are like about $1,000. But I've seen the videos, I've seen how they work, especially the one for the Inspire 2. So definitely check that video out. I also did one on the UAV symposium held by the FAA, and gone over some of the major things that they talked about. I've done one on insurance. I'm not going to spill all the beans from my video. I'm going to let you guys watch that. But I've done a lot of videos that really didn't get a lot of views, but I thought were important subject matters to talk about, to let you guys know about. And of course, I've done a lot of flight videos. I've done a lot of product review videos. There is a good mix here on the channel, and also, I'll call them the up and coming videos. Like we're talking about the Mavic 2 right now. So that's where I'm at. Lon, yeah, he is absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. I do another thing is when I'm doing that. Oh, okay, Felipe, awesome. I will definitely check out that email after the broadcast today. Thank you for that. One of the things that I can tell you that I do is I do a lot of research before I put out one of these videos. You know, I check all my sources. I make sure the information that I put out there is as accurate and up to date as possible whenever I go to broadcast something. And the same for these shows too. One of the things that I do before the broadcast is I go out to Twitter. You know, I go out and check some accounts, check some of my sources out there, and just see if there's any news or any kind of breaking news out there. And because I want to give you guys the latest and accurate information. And I will say this: one of my accurate sources, and it's really, I even hesitate calling him a source, is Hay Kesterly from Drone DJ. Hay has been fantastic with what he's, the information he has. He has a very good working relationship with DJI. And I know you guys, we had him on the show and he was fantastic. Ken Ingram, how many have State Farm coverage? I have State Farm for it, and I think it's a bargain. I do know, the one thing I do know, Ken, is that State Farm is available everywhere except California. You know, I was told that, and obviously, you know, for that, we'll talk about drone insurance here for a minute. Thanks for bringing that up, Ken. It's $75 for my personal articles policy for the Mavic Pro, and I have for $1,299, you know, pretty much the Fly More combo, of value of things that I have regarding that. And, you know, it's covered, it's an acts of God kind of policy. I chose not to renew my DJI Care Refresh with the Mavic Pro because it's in anticipation of the new Mavic coming out. And again, you know, with that, I did not sell. I still have my Mavic Pro, and I'm going to be using it here up until they have a date assigned, and then I'm going to be making a decision about when to go ahead and put that up for sale. So, say title, we'll have that coming right up. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. And it's kind of funny that you mentioned that with the video. I kind of patterned myself a little bit after Rick Smith from Drone Valley, and Rick loves it. He takes it as a compliment, and I'm very hopeful. And if you know, I had some discussion with him. We had a great talk. His daughter is going to be starting a job over in the Orlando area coming up, and he'll be down here. And when he's down here, I'm very hopeful of being able to get together with him. And he said he's going to bring a couple of drones down. We'll do some flying. So, yep, I would definitely be looking forward to that. And with his permission, love to shoot a video and meet him. I'm very much looking forward to that. It's always a great opportunity to meet, meet subscribers, and I absolutely love it. Steve, yes, Ken Ingram, State Farm covers loss. What about liability? No, as far as liability, and that's a great question, Ken. And one of the things I strongly suggest for liability is looking into the aircraft. I think it's Aircraft Modelers Association. I'm a member of that. I think it's called the AMA. For your $75 annual fee, they do provide some liability protection with that. But I believe as far as personal liability, there are some great apps, and I know Sally French did one on drone insurance as well. So you may want to check that out. But as far as personal liability is concerned, no, it doesn't go to your homeowner's policy. This only covers actual, an act of God with the drone, like wind takes it into the lake, or, gets hit by a lightning bolt, or, gets stolen, or, that kind of thing. But for personal liability, there are these apps that are available where you can purchase insurance per your event, your photography or videography event. So that's something I would check out. Ken, if you want to send me an email, if you could, and I'll do some more checking on that, because I know there are some apps out there where you can pay for liability insurance per job or per time that you fly. So, Steve, does the AMA insurance cover you outside their flight fields? See, that's the thing, Steve. I think it does not. I think, if you're using a AMA sanctioned field, I think that's where that covers you. I think outside that field, it does not. And I have one by me, and I'm really looking forward to joining it. Their membership dues are kind of expensive. I mean, it's close to, I believe, $150, if not $200 for a year, but it's like, and I asked them about drone flying, and they said, absolutely. And they have a huge area there, maybe 3 or 4 acres that you can fly on. It's in definitely in a fly zone. So, but yeah, Steve Carpenter, that's a great question. Yeah, their personal liability is only for when you're flying at an AMA either sanctioned event or at one of their group fields. So that's a good question. Do you know if they have the same option for renters insurance? Black Ops insurance. The personal articles policy, just to let you guys know from State Farm, that's independent of whether you own a house or not. It does not matter. It's not tied into your homeowner's policy, which is a great thing. I didn't have to show anything. The only things that I did have to show was my bill of sale that listed the equipment and so forth. And I did provide them a serial number for the drone, and that pretty much was it. And, they took my $75 and insured for an entire year. So that's kind of that's a nice peace of mind. The liability, I'm going to take a look and see. I know Sally French did something on that. I think there's been a couple other videos, and I'll see if I can dig some up, and I'll get them out there on Build the Drone Reviewer on Facebook, the page, and on the group, so you guys know about that. Yeah, State Farm for me, it's $75 for a year. And I think that's a bargain. I really do. Verifly. Lon, thank you very much for that. Yes, and Floyd, you're right. It's called Verifly. And from what I heard, it's super easy to use, and it's per flight, which I think is great. I think the personal articles policy is fantastic, for the drone itself, covering the acts of God, but for the liability, you don't need to have that all the time. And, I think that Verifly is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Rick, thank you, Rick. Thank you for that. That's fantastic. Yeah. Jaeger Scott, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate your time on the channel today. And thank you, Steve Carpenter, for being heads up with being the unbelievable moderator. We're going to kind of wrap things up here. We got Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live coming up. If there's any, always know if there's any breaking news. I don't hesitate to go outside at lunchtime and do a quick, 1 or 2 minute live stream just to let you guys know what that breaking news is. And as always, I'll provide a more in detail and in-depth analysis that evening. I'll definitely do that. And, for breaking news, I don't hesitate to get on the air to let you guys know about that. So if there's anything like that, I'll let you know. We got Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live coming up. I have your user submitted videos. That's coming up this week. I have a state of the channel video coming up this week. I'm going to get Ron's video out sometime, the Autel Evo. And on your way out, as Steve said, please make sure you hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. We got a lot of great people, a lot of great subscribers on this channel, a lot of great viewers on this channel from all over. And the reason that we do the Sunday Afternoon Rotor Talk Live is for, thank you, Greg, Black Ops, you too. Thank you guys so much. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you on. And like I said, and I'll say this before we close here, you guys drive me to do great content, and that's the thrust behind this channel. The thrust behind the Sunday Afternoon Rotor Talk Lives is so my friends overseas in the UK, in Europe, and in other countries have a chance to be able to participate in the chat, like Kim Foskett, Ian Jones, Rodney. Thank you guys so much. And give some of these guys some love as well, too. Especially check out their channels. If they've got some great content out there. I know Kim Foskett has some. I know Rod Piker, he has some. Definitely check out their channels. You do yourself a favor. These guys have fantastic aerials, and the history behind these aerials as well too. So definitely you guys want to check that out. Thomas O'Sullivan, yes, definitely check out their channels. We'll be on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Look forward to seeing everybody then. I hope you guys have a great week coming up. Hopefully catch you guys Tuesday on Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live. Any kind of breaking updates, breaking news, definitely you'll get it here. And for whenever the event is rescheduled, you will get the best coverage here on Build the Drone Reviewer. I do promise you guys that. So thank you, everybody, for joining this afternoon. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate that. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and we'll definitely see you on Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live. Take care, everybody, and happy flying.